Wow. Who would have fucking thought that after all of this time, I was gonna come back to YouTube and I'd be talking about One Piece of all things. But I mean, if I'm just being real, I wasn't a I wasn't a big fan of One Piece when I first started. Like first 250, maybe 300 episodes, I was just kind of like, okay, like, what the fuck is the point of any of this shit? This is stupid. You know, typical One Piece fan shit. But I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I'm at right now I'm in the I guess the Summit War saga, but I'm at Marineford. Fuck, bro, this goddamn story. Like, I had bits and pieces of the early story that like brought it up to like a 9 out of 10 for me, but then I had some parts of the early story that like brought it down to like a 4. Like, and I'm so serious when I say that. Like, I hated some of the parts of early One Piece, and that wasn't just like me hating old anime or something. Like, that was straight up just me kind of just evaluating the story for what it was. And even though I go back now and I look at some of the things that have happened and I appreciate it a little bit more, there's still some shit that I just think is straight up ass. I'm sorry, like, it's never gonna change. But anyways, my bad. What's up? So it's Yori Death, and I mean, I don't even know what to say. I told y'all what the video gonna be about. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. I've been watching One Piece. Right now I'm on about like, I don't know, episode I'm on like episode 550 or something like that. And I just wanted to make a video about it because, first of all, I got some time to record, so I thought I should, number one, so hi. But number two, I gotta get some opinions or get my opinions out on One Piece, because like, so far, I haven't really made it public that I'm watching One Piece. And that's not because I'm on some like, oh, I don't want people to know I'm on my own or shit. Like, nothing like that. It's just, I don't like being spoiled. And if somebody even accidentally spoils me, I might hate them for life. So I just avoid talking to people when I'm watching something that's really popular and I know I really like it. But I guess I'll try to format this a little bit better, because this is all off the dome. Because I only got like 15 minutes or so. So, yeah, basically, you know, with the original start of the story in the East Blue, if I'm being honest, like, Luffy was definitely one of my least favorite characters. I did not fuck with Luffy at all. But after getting around to like, I wouldn't even say Skypiea, I'd say Water 7 for Luffy. But like, most of the other characters still had something redeeming about them to me. So I enjoyed it, but I just kind of felt like a lot of it was middling and directionless. And even though there were a lot of things that were happening that I just didn't realize were happening, in the same breath, I still feel like that's not necessarily my fault. Like, I don't think it's fair to just say, oh, well, you didn't get far enough in the story to understand that, when it's like literally the beginning of the story. So that could have been worked on a little differently, but it's not something that ever discouraged me from finishing the story. But anyways, what really got me into the show was Arlong. That shit was hard. I fuck with Arlong. I keep forgetting how to say this shit. The barista, Bariata, whatever. The ship that Sanji was on. That was really like the arc that got me into One Piece, though, because I just fucked with the way that so many different factions of people were represented, like the cooks and them being, you know, former pirates and shit, and then fucking Zoro, you know, kind of being on some I want to be the best shit, and then Mihawk showing up and not necessarily being a bad guy, but also not necessarily being a good guy. I think Don Krieg was cool as shit. I fuck with him, tough. And I don't know, it was just something about the way that it was structured that made me appreciate some of the things that was happening for the characters compared to anything else before. And then I think it was Drum Island with Chopper. That was the first time I cried watching One Piece. That shit, Chopper's story is fire. I fucking love Chopper's story, but I do have a hard time remembering that arc. So I do kind of like want to rewatch it or some shit one day. But there was a lot of shit like with Luffy carrying, I think, Sanji and Nami up that fucking mountain, like with his teeth or whatever the fuck that nigga was doing, bro. That nigga was on some crazy shit, bro. And that scene was so fucking like, damn, this nigga is really about it. Shit, like, I don't know. But then we get to Skypiea, and I did not fuck with like first half of Skypiea. I love Jaya. Jaya got me so hyped for Skypiea, but the first half of Skypiea really wasn't my cup of tea. It was just the pacing. That might be something that would be different in the manga. But for damn sure, the second half of Skypiea was some fucking heat. And that was really when I feel like I started to understand a little bit more of what was happening, in the sense of like, I apologize, my kitten is awake. I feel like that was my first time ever really getting a glimpse into what was really going on, because that just started to open my mind a lot more to what the fuck was actually going on behind the scenes, because the way that shit just started to slowly unveil itself was insane during that arc, as it, you know, kept going and going and going. And fucking, what's it called? The arc right after that. What's after Skypiea? Water 7, if I'm not mistaken. Well, you know, long ring, whatever, stupid ass island. I'm pretty sure it was in between it or whatever. But it's Water 7 and then fucking Enies Lobby and post Enies Lobby. And those arcs, I don't even need to say nothing. I'm pretty sure the internet has said more than enough. And I'm not even finished with the show yet, so I don't even know the full implications of it yet. So I don't really think there's that much I can say outside of it. It's just fucking great. Water 7 was really when I feel like Oda started to like catch his flow of writing, because it just feels so well structured. Even with some of the stuff that I don't like, it still feels like it has a purpose, which is all that really matters at the end of the day. I am so sorry for that voice crack. Sorry, I'm really trying to think because I don't got much time, but I really wanted to make this video just because I've been really falling in love with this fucking story. And I can't even really explain why yet. I feel like it's something that I might not be able to express until I get farther. But it's kind of like the same shit that was happening when I first started watching the show. Like, I couldn't put it into words on what even made me keep watching, because I really didn't like it. But there's just something. And it's kind of the same shit with what's happening now. Like, I have such a strong affinity for this show now, and I can't even really explain why. And it is a great story, but like, it's different, bro. This shit is just fucking different, bro. I don't know. I really don't know. So honestly, I don't really know what else to say outside of I'm still in Marineford, and Thriller Bark, hot take, is actually, in my opinion, the best arc so far. I fucking love Thriller Bark. I guess I'll go ahead and just give y'all a fucking ranking of my Straw Hats. So I have two different rankings, and this is gonna sound stupid, but I'll explain. My first ranking is my favorites, which would just be the characters that I relate to the most, and the second would be the best written, which are the characters that I think, like, I won't say objectively because it's still subjective at the end of the day, but I would say as the story is progressing and the way in which they were introduced, like, I'd say when I say the best written, that's what I mean. Like, for example, just a spoiler alert, Chopper would be at the bottom of my best characters list, because even though his introduction is phenomenal and very important, a lot of the stuff that he has done afterward has been kind of middling. So even though I still love him as a character, and he would be at the bottom of my list, that's not me saying he's a bad character. To be a fucking Straw Hat in itself is just goated. So, you know, I'm not saying nothing bad about Chopper. But as a written character, I think the whole point of how he's written is that he's written to quite literally be the same. Like, he's a flat character. He's the Goku of fucking of the Straw Hats. He doesn't change, stays the same, and he evolves in completely different types of ways to everybody else. So that's what I mean by best. But even still, personally, in my favorites list, he'd probably be more like in the top 5 or 6 range rather than at the bottom. So that's kind of what I mean. So, anyways, if I had to rank my favorites, I'd say my number one is still Robin. I just love her story and the way that she moves throughout the story. Like, I don't know what it is about Robin, bro. She's just fire. Like, she may not be the most OP or the strongest or whatever, but I just think that the role that she plays is so unique that she really is an anomaly in this fucking group. Like, yeah, there's a lot of fucking weirdos and shit in this group, but she is like a genuine anomaly to be in this group. And the lengths that the group went to keep her around. Sorry, once again, I'm watching my kidding while I'm recording this. This is what I mean. I don't have much time. The lengths in which that they went to save her, to me, was some of the best like storytelling in One Piece so far. Especially with Luffy burning the flag. That shit was very, very beautiful to me. And yeah, I love Robin. My second would definitely be Brooke, because even though I relate to Robin the most, people have always called me Brooke, and I kind of get it. You know, like the music, you know, da 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 shit, you know, stupid jokes, same corny bit over and over and over again. Yeah, it sounds like me. So those two are my favorite just because I really do see a lot of myself in how they move in this story. Like, I'd say Brooke, to me, feels like a lot of how I act, but Robin feels a lot more like of how I actually feel. And I'd say third in my favorites list is probably Luffy, because the way that his story has just progressed and the way in which things have been slowly revealed to him just is very, very relatable, because I just didn't like him at first at all. I did not fuck with Luffy. But man, his character development is great. He has such great character development. I'm gonna just leave it there because I'm gonna have a think piece on this nigga eventually. Fourth place, I'd probably put Sanji. I just think that he's so fucking underrated, and a lot of people probably don't give him credit for the role that he might play in the arc, but like, to me, his characterization has always been so consistently thorough that it's just hard not to be interested in what Sanji's going through, even if the story or himself doesn't really want anybody to. It's really good to me. I like Sanji. Fifth place, I'll probably have Zoro, because his backstory and his initial fight with Mihawk is one of the best interactions in the story for sure. And I just think that his progression has been cool. Like, he's just a cool ass character. I'd say next I'll probably put Frankie. That nigga Frankie's hard. I like his backstory. He had a lot of shit going on, but I don't necessarily relate to him that much. But he's good. He's like really fucking good. And I mean, he kind of kicked off all the Water 7, so you know, it's a given. Next, I'd probably put Nami. I think her initial importance to the story was kind of the Kickstarter for a lot of the shit that Straw Hats went through, because I think she's like the one person in the group who sees things way, way ahead of everything else. Like, she always sees things before it fucking happens. That's why she's never in harm's way. And she's just a good character. And honestly, I don't know. Chopper and Usopp are like interchangeable to me. I don't know. I've never really fucked with either of them. In a certain, like, in their battles, I guess. They don't really have battles that I care for, but they are good characters. And Usopp's development in Thriller Bark, definitely some fucking heat. And Chopper, even though he doesn't develop much, I still think is a necessary character, because like, I think every show just kind of needs that one character who just wants everything to go right. So, like Zenitsu, in a certain sense, just weaker. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Anyways, that's the first list of like my favorites. Now, if I had to rank them by best written, I'd probably say number one is Luffy so far. Don't really need to explain that one. I mean, main character difference, I guess. Second place, I'd probably say Sanji. Once again, I think that probably the most underrated, and he has always played some type of important, like, he always just ends up seeing some shit. That's what it is. He always ends up seeing some shit, and I don't know. It's just it's like he has the most fucking background knowledge of what everybody else is dealing with in the weirdest way, because he don't directly talk about it. But I don't know. I think that he's hella underrated. Third, probably Frankie, because even though Frankie is a flat character, his role for the Straw Hats, I think, is like almost just as important as Luffy's, because I think he was their moment of change. I'd say, like, when Frankie came around, that was when everybody started thinking and seeing things differently, and I don't think that was by coincidence. And the amount of shit that nigga was a part of with his, group, and then the Galila and all that shit. And, I mean, shit, bro. The nigga character is just fucking funny. Like, I can't think of one time this nigga's made a joke and it actually wasn't funny. So, that's a really hard character to write. But even with that, I'd still say that Zoro isn't too far off. Like, he's close to Frankie. I'd just say that the way that he goes about things is a little bit more streamlined, while with Frankie, it's like you quite literally have to think of completely new scenarios with him every single time something happens, because he's such a unique character. So I wouldn't say he's that much better of a character than Zoro, but the way that the situations that he's written to, I think, are better, because for Zoro, it's quite literally just, I need to fight, and he either wins or he loses. Not gonna lie, this is when this really gets hard. I'd probably put Brooke at 5th over, that sucks though, because I do think that, Nami and Robin are super fucking well written, but Brooke's backstory, bro, and the way that shit was revealed, peak fucking storytelling. Like, the tie back to Laboon, bro, that shit was just like, wow. Like, nigga, we were literally destined to meet you. That shit's crazy. So I gotta put Brooke at 5, even though it's really hard, because I want to put Robin at 5, but Robin would be 6, and then Nami would be 7, because I kind of feel like their role so far has been written the same, but the way in which they gather information is just completely different. I think that's what makes them so interesting, because Robin is more of a methodical thinker, while Nami is more of a rational thinker. So she just instantly, Nami's gonna jump to the worst conclusion, while Robin's gonna try and come to the best one. And I think that's why, like, half of the time the shit pops off, they're always together. And it's not like, I don't think it's just because they're the only girls and they're the weakest, so Oda's trying to write something to make them strong. There's some stupid shit that I bet people are probably saying. I think it's just because their characters work so well together based off how they think, and both of their backstories in a lot of ways are pretty fucking similar, so makes sense. But I mean, I guess I'd have to put Usopp at 8, because even though I really fucking hate Usopp at the beginning of the story, I can't act like he's not a good character. And that was like the hardest fucking part to accept, was that he was actually a good character. So I just kind of got to a point where, even though I would put Chopper over him just to be petty, I don't really think that's true. Chopper is definitely the least written, and that's fine. He doesn't need. I don't think it would be very interesting if Chopper was like getting some crazy power up or some shit and fighting one of the strongest people in the arc. Like, I just don't think that would be good. I'm gonna be honest. So I think it's cool. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll just kind of keep y'all posted on how this shit ends up going forward. From this point forward, because like I said, this is just my first time ever talking about it publicly. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm scared. I will be honest, I'm fucking scared. This story is scary, nigga. It's dark as fuck, and it keeps getting darker. So I'm not very confident in me being much more happy the deeper I get into this story. But hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, have a good one.